So my last video was it was a long video, but I did it to set up some future videos I have to come to do with the corruption in Rosemont, because I think it is pinnacle in a connection to the cover up of Kenneka's death, regardless of foul play or accident. I don't think there's an authoritative figure in Rosemont or Chicago or even Illinois that is not corrupt. And there was a lot of important financial and business dates that surrounded Kenneka's death that could affect their finances. And business and finances is the main thing for this mayor. He's very similar to Trump in the sense that he's a businessman made into a mayor, and Trump is a businessman made into a president. So keep that in mind, pay attention to the dates and listen to this information, and it will be clear that this is a cover up due to financial purposes. So this is an article I found in the Daily Herald, which I'll put the link in the description for. And it says, judges say Rosemont must disclose records, will village appeal? And what this was is it was to do with financial records that they didn't want to disclose, that there was suspicion over. And if you look at the dates, it says 13th of July. Okay, so this is at a similar time to where I showed you in my last video that 24K info had up on our website about the Murray Bros Caddyshack. And you can see that that was posted on the 6th of July about when that would be opening within the Crown Plaza. So that issue they have about showing financial records, it goes with the timing of this restaurant that was about to be built in the Crown Plaza. Okay, so keep that dates in mind and keep those things in mind. Then I'll go on to the next bit of information I found, where it says the Better Government Association sued the village in January 2015 after the village redacted information about the financial terms in contracts for shows, concerts and other events at the two venues in 2014. Okay, so they were being looked at in regards to the finances, and they basically didn't want to disclose their finances. The first excuse of this was, let me read it. It says Rosemont officials have said revealing certain details would put its venues at a competitive disadvantage to privately run venues, but the BGA has argued release of the information is essential to gauging how well government is operating. And I would agree with that. And then I found this in the Daily Herald. And it says Rosemont pays legal fees after losing records disclosure case. Okay. It says Rosemont Village Board this week approved an £80,000 payment to the law firm representing the Better Government Association, which sued the village in 2015 over its refusal to release financial records about village-owned entertainment venues. The law firm was entitled to receive legal fees after an appellate court ruled last year the village must release details of rental contracts and financial incentives at the Allstate Arena and Donald E. Stevens Convention Centre, which is across the road from the Crown Plaza. Remember I said no one's going to want to stay in them hotels for all these venues and things they have going on in this area. Okay, so they didn't want to disclose their financial records, and they would rather take that £80,000 hit than their lose finances through just showing those records and people not trusting them and showing what they're really about. Remember, this is a business. They don't care about how we feel as long as they get away with everything. And this is something I found on the rosemontchamber.com website, and it's about the 2017 annual State of the Village of Rosemont address, and it was delivered by the mayor. And what I want you to also do is look at the dates. The dates are the 13th of September 2017, a couple of days after her body was found. Okay, so now you're hopefully understanding what I mean by there was a lot of financial dates surrounding this hotel and the death of Kenneka. So we have the July dates that where they had issues with their finances and approving this Caddyshack to be built within this Crown Plaza, and then on the date that she dies, there's a few dates that surround finances. And what I noticed with this was all of it was about finances again, what they're going to build, basically promoting themselves to gain more privilege in regards to finances. Um, it says sales tax is up approximately 8% over the last year, and all those types of things. I'm going to leave it to play so you can read it, pause it, and get an idea of what I'm talking about. But basically, that was on the 13th of September. So this was an important event for him, Rosemont, and gaining more finances in a way. And something else it says within this report, and remember I said, remember those dates, and it says, by the time you read this address online, we will have hosted another event on Friday night, September the 14th, with local fighter Mike Lee headlining the card. She was found on the 10th. This is the 14th. There were so many dates and things happening around this time. So this is obviously something you've seen before, and all it is just connecting the dates again. The 14th is the day after they had that meeting about the finances that I just spoke about, and where they mentioned that there would be a big event happening on the 14th, which is the same day. And this is where they offer to pay for Kenneka's funeral expenses. And in my opinion, it's just to keep people quiet so they don't investigate, as they have had this issue in the past, as I've just said. And it's just to try and make them look compassionate, even just so that they can carry on making these the money that they make and keep the integrity that they think that they hold. So I remember seeing some names in that article where, if you haven't seen it, it's basically about his father, Don E. Stevens, and his life. And there was a part about his funeral and some people that attended his funeral. So I checked them people out, and guess what? They are all corrupt. Um, Blagojevich was indicted by a federal grand jury in April 2009. Most of the charges related to attempts to sell the Senate seat vacated by the President-elect Barack Obama. On August 17, 2010, he was convicted on one of the 24 federal charges, a charge of lying to the FBI, and the jury was hung on the 23rd, sorry. Okay. He's currently in jail for 14 years, okay, for what he has done. And that guy has connections to the mayor's father, okay? And then there's someone called Michael Madigan who attended his funeral. And he's had a lot of suspicion surrounding him also. But with what's happened to him, it looks to me like he's basically just trying to gain money and use his position to put other people in their positions. That seems to be what the corruption he's involved in. Similar to the Stevens and how they favour their family and favour certain people that do business with them. He will help swindle you a place, and it says, and also to do with money. He knows how to work money. It says in the summer of 2013, it was reported that Madigan had sought to use influence to secure patronage, hiring, and promotion at the Metro Commuter Rail Agency for two of his supporters. So it's all money that just goes around the same loop with the same people, and they use their position to help people they like, and everyone else is shut out. Okay, and they use that, what that is so that they can use the funding that they make and the money that they make between them and keep it secret so that nobody knows, and they can gain more money for their family and the people they like. There was an article I found where it says that the corruption from Mike Madigan um, is disgusting. And for years, they have taken money from middle class families and small businesses to help line their own pockets, all the while propping up their political careers. If you want to know why Illinois has serious problems, look no further than Joe Berrios and Mike Madigan and their shameful practices of robbing hardworking Illinoisans to make themselves richer. And I couldn't have put it better. I think most authority figures within Chicago are like this. And then the next person, the um, Daly, I found an article where it says Daly's power is complete and unchecked. So no one checks on this guy. No one. He's so powerful that he's like the king. Okay, and he was had a lot to do with the building of the O'Hare Airport, and he had connections with Blagojevich as well, who is now in jail for 14 years. And Blagojevich had connections to the building of the O'Hare Airport also, where they made, they was it like a 14 or 15 billion budget to expand this hotel, which everyone thought was ridiculous, but they did that budget because they're going to use the public's money. Okay, they use the public's money to make all these changes, and that 15 billion budget they thought was ridiculous and didn't understand it. But the reason why they did it was so that they can take some money out of the pot for themselves and for their family and become rich again. Okay, that's what they do. Read these articles that I've put up. You know, there's one where it says Gills argued that the O'Hare expansion project fight has never been about aviation or delays, but about corruption, control, contracts, and resources to run a political engine, a giant public works machine that produces jobs, contracts, and political contributions, and which has the potential to grant control of all Illinois government. It's about power, and money, like I've said many times. Okay, the way he was going to screw people out of money was by adding a $4.50 per passenger on every takeoff and landing. That's where the billions in bomb business come from, and no one is watching. Okay, they are screwing over people. Okay, it says the only things standing in Daly's way of spending 15 billion of other people's money are some key suburban mayors. And I'm gonna, it's O'Hare, it's probably the Stevens, they probably have a little hand in that pot. Okay, finances and power is the reason, regardless of foul play or death, for why this death of Kenneka is covered up 100%.